Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for To Your Eternity, chapter 151.75. When we last left our heroes, Fushi decided to make a birthday present for Mizuha. He set up this whole photo album that he got from the computer that he had sort of absorbed in the past when Izumi wanted him to destroy it. And so he creates this photo album, he gives it drops it off at Mizuha's mailbox, and he goes to school. Everyone basically, the whole Occult Club basically says, maybe we should give up on this. But they decide to try one last time, talk to Mizuha, even if it fails. And then Mizuha's dad shows up, returns the photo album, and is like, no, we're done with this whole place. It's time to stop playing friends, is the exact term he uses. And returns the photo album. But there's a weird thing going on there, because Yuki insists that he attached the photos very well, but the photo, or a photo of like Izumi and Mizuha, I think right after Mizuha's birth, falls out of it. And seeing that gives Fushi the inspiration to go see Mizuha anyway. Not quite sure why, not quite sure what's going on there, but Yuki decides he still has to confess to Mizuha, and so he's going to go see Mizuha too. And at that point, the entire Occult Club comes the next day to find Mizuha, specifically to this like underground maze city that should lead to the sort of sanctuary that Fen and Nixon found a long time ago. And yeah, that's where we left off, with the Occult Club about to make their way through that city. Let's dive right into chapter 151.75, Things That Connect Us, part 4. Because yeah, we're still in 151, in case that wasn't clear yet. I do like our cover here, though, of the whole Occult Club just, like, posing. It's sort of funky. I like it. They're all weirdos. But we open where we left off. They've just entered this maze city. I'm not quite sure how this geographically works, but okay. Each of these tunnels connects to somewhere. And this place they lead to is connected to where Mizuha is. Is that what you mean? I think that's Hana. Because Fushi had just said at the end of last chapter, let me go back there real fast, to 151.5, Fushi says, look at this last page again, they enter the sewers. Hana asks, does it have to be here? Fushi, the tunnel has a metal door on it, I could break through it if I need to, but it'd take time, as they slip through the bars. Everyone is shocked. And then Yuki exclaims, whoa, the entrance to a maze city is right where we left off. But I guess some bit of conversation has happened since then. Because Hana says all this, like Fushi has said something else. That these tunnels are the entrance to, that this is the entrance to Mizuha's base of operations. But anyway, they're just standing there. Is that what you mean? And Mr. Monocle points out, gets out his laptop. That sounds like my cue as the brains of the operation. Allow me, Senba, to pinpoint a route on our map. But he can't. Senba's his name, by the way, we learned there. Eek! No Wi-Fi! And the other member whose name I think we still don't know teases him, you were gonna search the internet? And Fushi just calls, over there, the one furthest to the right. And Hana's sort of stunned as Fushi and the one unnamed member work their way into that tunnel. Hana's shocked. How did he know? Fushi pulls the guy up, try not to slip. And Yuki tells her he can connect to the roots spread throughout them and sense the right place. And at that point, they're now walking through the tunnel. Hana asks, then you know what's up ahead too? And Fushi tells her, yeah, as long as it's somewhere these roots can get in. And the place the roots can't enter is our route to the enemy's base. Through here. And we see a metal door, the roots are all sort of encroaching on the door but can't get in. I think that might be the last, bulwark until they get to the, cult shrine. The one unnamed member sort of hikes up his sleeves. He's got this sort of army vibe, which makes this next line make a bit of sense. A metal door, eh? Looks like a job for me, the muscle of the operation. And he tries to, turn the wheel, and he just can't. He can't do anything. He falls over. My arm! And Hana comes over and names him. Tamaki-kun, are you alright? And one of the ghosts, that's either Fen or Nixon. I know Fen and Nixon as the unit, but which one is Fen and which one is Nixon, I'm never quite sure. The one, oh no, that's not Fen or Nixon. That's, is that the guy from Jananda? The one who Fushi fought and spared, I think? Might be mistaken. It might be one of the ghosts one of Bond's pet ghosts. Either way, whoever he is, he yanks the wheel. He actually is able to turn it. Oh wait, no, I'm dumb. That's Fushi. I was about to comment how odd it is that the ghost is able to turn the wheel. And it's because it's Fushi. And he is the guy from Jananda. Fushi as the guy from Jananda. I'm dumb sometimes. Anyway, he turns the wheel, and Yuki just sort of cheers. Yay, it opened! I knew you could do it, Fushi. And Fushi is turned back to Joan. Yoan? I never quite sure how to pronounce that name. The wolf, and says, thanks to Nand. So I guess the club is like, I don't know, I was never quite sure how much the club knew about Fushi. But at this point, it's clear they know, like, everything about him. He's openly talking about the roots. He's shape-shifting in front of them. No secrets here. And he creates some roots to go down the tunnels. And Fushi asks Yuki, you think we'll be home before dark? And Yuki looks at him, huh? From here on, it's a real maze. Not quite sure how those two sentences connect, Fushi, but okay. And Hana presses, what do you mean? You can't even find the goal with your powers? The only thing I can tell is that all the paths lead to metal doors. We won't know where those go until we open them. And Yuki winks. Sounds like it's finally my time to shine. I brought something to show us the way. And he pulls out of his giant backpack. Ta-da! A Ouija board! Okay, that's a plan, I guess. Fushi looks at it. What's that? It looks impressive. Right? The spirits will open a path for us with this. Gather round, ORC. And they all put their hands on the Ouija board. Or I think it's just the guys who do that. Spirits, oh spirits, heed my call. I don't care who it is. Somebody just tell us where to find Mizuha-senpai. And Fushi looks down at them, kind of, I think, confused. He has no idea what this is. And Hana tells him, these boys are always playing around like this. And it moves. It moved. Right? And Hana's just like kind of stunned. You must be joking. I don't know how to properly vocalize the GHT in right to make it sound like a complete sound. But they translate it as right. This way. Let's get going. And Senba and his name is, we just learned it, Tamaki, go down the right path. And Fushi asked, who moved it? And Yuki, who's like a firm believer in the Ouija board. I've never quite gotten Ouija boards. It feels like the people themselves are just moving it, right? Am I stupid there? I don't know. But Yuki seems to believe that it worked. Probably Fen and Nixon. And Hana, despite knowing all about Fushi's powers, has apparently never heard of Fen and Nixon. Despite the fact that Fen and Nixon were just mentioned, was it last chapter or this one? I forget which. Because someone said, I think it might have been last chapter, the place where Nixon found Mizuha, or whatever the line was. Let me go back to that. I'm not sure. I know it was in here somewhere. I don't know where exactly it was. I don't know. I can't find it anywhere. All right, I think it happened, but I can't find it. I don't know. But either way, apparently Hana does not know who Fen and Nixon are, which is interesting. Anyway, sometime later, they're still traversing the tunnels. They're climbing up a ladder. They make it to another intersection, I guess, and they use the Ouija board to find themselves at another door. And the door opens. And Fushi looks around. Isn't this that place Fen and Nixon told us about? And Yuki agrees. Looks like it. Though I don't think they'd be able to, like, they have a general idea, but they wouldn't know for certain. They seem pretty certain. And Hana notes, which means Mizuha's up ahead? That door, there's this big door on the other side. That door looks heavy. Can we open it? Though wasn't there like a chair in this chamber when Fen and Nixon told that story? That like a throne Mizuha was sitting in? I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back to that chapter also. Anyway, Fushi tells the group, looks like the end of the line. You should all go home. And Hana protests, what? But we came all this way together. Yeah. I wanted to let you see her too if possible, but it's not going to happen if that's the only way in. I doubt those knocker doors will let you through. Okay, so we get a closer look at those doors, and we see that in the earlier panel there's 2 holes in the doors, and in a close-up we see knockers in those holes, I guess controlling the doors. And given that Mizuha's all obsessed with Fushi right now, I guess the knockers would allow Fushi in, but they might not allow the other Occult Club members. And Hana, Tamaki, and Senba are all kind of stunned. Yikes! Whoa, that's nasty. Though, I mean, like, Yuki has enough experience with knockers. He might say he can just go on through. We'll see. But Yuki tells Fushi, be careful, Fushi. Make a spare body just in case. Yeah. And you take care of the others, Yuki. Okay. Well, get going then. And he hands the photo album to Fushi. I actually really like that bit. But with that, the quartet all leaves. Their mission's sort of a failure. Anyway, one tangent I kind of want to go on, though, before that, is the awareness the Occult Club has of the knockers just continues to grind my gears that, like, the other immortals are completely unaware the knockers are back. Like, we've been in the present world for, in-universe, several months, right? Because it was 6 months, I think, since Fushi reawoken when he went back home. And then it's been another month or so since then, just moving into this new kind of mini time skip. And still, the gang is completely unaware about the return of the knockers. It's understandable given Fushi's current mental state. It's still just kind of annoying. Anyway, Fushi watches them leave, and he approaches the knocker door. And one of the knockers lashes out at Fushi. He jumps out of the way, and as he's jumped up, he creates a whole root system to come for the knocker and pierce it, I think. Killing the knocker, and I think killing both knockers. Just like that, a real simple, quick little fight. Makes me kind of wonder why he had to make the other Occult Club members leave if the knockers weren't any real threat. But anyway, he kills them real fast. And then I think that's Grandpa Mizuha. Welcome, Fushi-sama! And Fushi's sort of stunned as I guess the door opened with the knocker's death. And I think that's Mizuha. It's a really tiny panel, so I can't quite tell, but I'm 99% sure that's Mizuha sitting in her throne room. This is the room that we saw from Ben and Nixon's flashback. This looks much more like the one we saw in that, much more like the one I recognized from that flashback. And that's where we end. Okay. So supposedly, this is finally the end of Things That Connect Us. Next week should be 152 proper. But let's talk about this chapter, because there's a lot of interesting things here. We spent some it feels like this is like the first significant amount of time we've really spent with like Senba and Tamaki, who've always just kind of been the guys that fill out the club. And here, you know, they don't quite feel like three-dimensional characters, but they feel like this could be this could have been the start of them as three-dimensional characters. I'm not sure that will still happen given Fushi's sort of y'all go home at the end of the chapter. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. We might still see them. We'll definitely see more Yuki and Hana as they're like big name main characters right now. But maybe we'll get more of them. Maybe we won't. Looking back, the Ouija board actually is a nice bit. I took Fushi or Yuki's declaration that it was probably Fen and Nixon who helped them, just sort of Yuki being, you know, Yuki. But I think he's actually kind of right there. Like, Fen and Nixon would know the way. They are ghosts, so I suppose they couldn't. If the Ouija board actually works, then I suppose they could move the Ouija board. Yeah, I mean, I guess it was Fen and Nixon who guided them, because they do make it to the right place. But then, yeah, it's, you know, Fushi quickly sort of knocks out the knockers, and then we have this last bit, welcome home, Fushi-sama. You know, in the end, let's talk a little bit about 151 as a whole unit. I think, given that 151 has been going on for so long now, for like over a month, I think we've been at 151, we can sort of look at it as, you know, I saw someone, I think, on the To Your Eternity Immortal posting Facebook group, I think, mentioned this is very much feeling like the start of a new arc. 151 as a whole as the start of a new arc. You know, in the way it's like a new school year, in the way Fushi's immediate problems with feeling like his friends are leaving him are sort of pushed to the back burners. We focus back on the big knocker drama. And I definitely feel all that. As this chapter sort of ends, it feels like the end of the setup. It's still set up. It's still sort of Fushi getting to the point where he can confront Mizuha. But it is getting there. It is one last bit of getting there before the actual confrontation starts next week. I imagine, again, to your turn, you can do something wildly different next time, and I'll be completely off base. I do wish that Yuki and Hana got to have some kind of confrontation with Mizuha. Hana especially, given everything that's gone on in her arc. I don't know. I always wish we had more from certain characters. And right now it's Hana, because there's just a lot with her. We saw bits of, like I was really interested in how she would react to seeing Mizuha again, given that their last interactions seemed to be the kiss from 146. But no, she's sort of told to go home, and I'm not super big on that. But whatever, it is what it is right now. And now Fushi is going to, at last, sort of have this conversation with Mizuha, and probably see the Fushi body she was stitching together back in point 5. Yeah. There's going to be a lot next chapter, because who fucking knows what's going on with Mizuha right now. I'm sure it's nothing healthy. But we'll have to wait and see how all that plays out next time. So I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, or, do whatever makes it happy, And as always, your life is your own, okay? Bye!